Hello everyone, this is Riccardo Masini and this is Vlog. And this is Off the Line, man-to-man combat during World War II by Mike Nagel and relative range. So, a skirmish wargame, skirmish being meaning that it is a one-to-one wargame. Every single counter represents one soldier. This is Soldier Young. Hello, Soldier Young. This is, I think, Grenadier. I think that the correct term is Bezemer. Okay, so every single counter represents one person, one lucky or unlucky guy. And I have to say that I have a personal inclination towards this kind of games, and I was looking for a World War II skirmish war game which could be not too complicated, not just solitaire, primarily player versus player, but also with a solitaire bot, which is not bad and quite intuitive, quite easy. That had hexagons and something different than just hexagons, for example, cards. Okay, thank you, Mike Nagel. You just designed my dream game, my personal dream game about World War II, because I love skirmish war games about the Middle Ages, like Guiscard, which is the old Kryevoc system, and now there is Oppidum on the ancient times, the Gallic Wars with Julius Caesar, and other kind of games. I still hope that I get a war game, an action counter war game about Napoleonic Wars. Anyway, yeah, there is rifles in the peninsula, which is fine, which is amazing, but it's a bit abstract. They don't have a map. Here we have a map. And about World War II, I was looking for this kind of game for a long time, and now I got it. What I really liked about this game, okay, I'm not delving down deep into the rules, because there are tons of videos that will surely will be much better than what they try to do rules wise, for the explanation of rules. Okay, but in general, you use cards to gain initiative, you draw cards at random, okay, to get initiative number. You use cards to say, okay, how many orders will I give during my turn? This number, okay, just use those cards. Okay, I give 6 orders, or I still played 2 cards face down. No, it's just 3, and I keep my other for the later turns. Anyway, I can use just six orders, not 8, but anyway, you get it. And also those cards, just like in Combat Commander, they are used to substitute dice. The fact is that, unlike Combat Commander, yes, there is chaos, yes, there is friction, but here it is much more controlled. For example, the results here, all the procedures, which are a bit elaborated, a bit sophisticated, just to avoid you counting too many factors. So this is a game against factor counting, and I love the fact that Mike Nagel is absolutely against factor counting. Okay, all the procedures say, okay, look, draw a card and look what's in column 6, for example. Okay, what do I get here? A 6. Every single column here has values up to that column. Column 7, for example, has results up to 7, from 1 to 7. If I had to draw column 5, I would have the results just from 1 to 5. Every single test that they make, the general philosophy or the mechanics of this game is that every single game test is first I determine which column I will be using, then I draw a card and I try to get an equal to lower number than the target results. For example, here, if Young here in this house wants to shoot at Besma with his, oops, okay, let's redo that. Okay, if Yang here wants to shoot at Besma with his bow, with his Browning, okay, I have to check on his morale, but how much do I check? Okay, we got this handy dandy, okay, reference cards, nice cards. Okay, a Browning, range 3, I would say 1, 2, 3. No, it is not so easy. Why? Because every hexagon has a point from which I draw my loss, my line of sight, and every point has a color. Clear, okay. Transparent point, this is a clear hex. Clear hex, clear hex. Green, this is a Woods X. And I don't have a theoretical range. Okay, 50 meters, 100 meters. I'm European, sorry. I use meters, I don't use yards and miles, etc. It's the metric system, but you get my point. So I use range attenuation, that is effective, real, true range, because shooting through a wood is not the same as shooting through 10 meters of wood is not the same as shooting through 10 meters of clear terrain, or 10 yards, as usual. So what does it mean is that I have 0.5 range attenuation, 0.5 range attenuation, which is here 1, 2, because the range attenuation of the forest is 2. I have another lovely, fantastic player card. Forest is 2. Okay. Actually, it is 3 in this example. It's just the same, but you get my point. Every single different hard and harsh terrain gets a greater range attenuation. So I have range attenuation of 3. I look here, range attenuation of 3. Which is the column I have to use? Column 6. Okay. How much what is my target number that I have to reach with column 6 on a card that I will draw? Well, you will say, okay, this is the counter, morale number, melee number, and weapon. Okay, you will say 2. No, because 2 is a theoretical morale value. Yang, okay, has a morale of 2, but in average conditions. It is not in average conditions. Why? Because it's inside the building. Inside the building gives him a protection of a morale bonus of +2. So 2 plus 2 is morale, becomes 4. Why? Because he is more protected, there's more time to shoot, and so if he was here, he would have just 2. But here he has morale 4. So my target number becomes 4. Also, he is inside the command value of Sergeant Johnson. Johnson has his own Thompson, has a SMG. Anyway, is a range of 3, 1, 2. Okay, Young is in the range of an officer, of a leader, an NCO. So he gets another +1. So his actual morale value is 5. He has to make a test on 5 and not on 2. So you see, you are rolling on subjective values, not theoretical. Because why? Because you are in a real situation. This is a skirmish game, war game. This is a one-to-one game. So you just have to see the actual conditions. Column 6, value 5. Let's say I get column 6. Okay, it fails. Should fails. Sorry. For example, let's draw another one. Okay, there's another 6. Again, you're quite an unlucky guy. Okay, 6. Okay. 2, Bessemer. Now Bessemer has to draw on his morale value to avoid getting pinned down. But he will roll on his theoretical morale 2. On what? On the protection value. Protection value of the woods is 7. Column 7. Okay. And he has, anyway, he is protected, so he has to roll here 7 on 4. Okay, range automation. Sorry, bonus. Okay, blah 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 blah. Upon terrain protection value, maximum rate check. Okay, he is just pinned. Okay, fills his value and is just pinned. Okay. You will see in this game that this, as in actual life, it is much easier to pin down people by firing them instead of killing them. There are some, if there is a red number here, there's a possibility there is a kill in action. Anyway, there is a straight shot that is killed, but most of the times the soldiers will be routed, and if so there is spin again, and there is and fails another morale value, soldier routes. The scenarios will give different values for soldiers that are killed or others that are routed. After all that, I gave my orders. I get another point where I draw a card. Is there, and for example, this one? Okay, draw another card. There is a special event that really shuffles down things, so can shuffle the deck, etc. The game has all the usual stuff for tactics like reactive fire, all these usual stuff. You have bunkers, you have LMGs with the crew, etc. This is not important right now. Just look at the rules and you will find everything. In general, the game is a bit of sophisticated, convoluted. Okay, procedures, but they are convoluted for a reason, because Mike wants to shuffle things up to avoid getting things too clear to decipher, so that you are actually okay. I'll give another factor. For example, in the melee is a ratio. It is based on force ratios, but there is also some meddling up with the values to avoid you being able to make too many calculations. The game has to be intuitive. Why? Because it is a tactical, it is a skirmish war game. So you just have to go with your guts. You have to decide with your guts, and so with your instincts. And so yes, the procedures after a couple of times they become very intuitive, very second nature, but they cannot be too much predicted. I really like how Mike Nagel used the cards. Yes, there is friction, there is chaos, but there is not too much friction, there's not too much chaos, as for example in Combat Commander, where I can't move my unit because I don't have a move, or okay, now something blows up, etc. It happens here, but much less, which is better for this scale. Also for the scale, there are no vehicles, and it is better, it is more believable than in Combat Commander, but this is another different situation. Anyway, the system is so flexible that I think that adding a jeep or a recon vehicle would not be so hard. Oh yeah, the game is highly customizable. There's also an expansion about the British soldiers and the Italian soldiers. Thank you, Mike. Grazie, Mike. And you have a point value. I want to see. Okay, here it is. You have point value. You can design your own scenarios. You can change scenarios. You have lots of scenarios in the base box, the base model. You have lots of stuff to play around, and it is highly customizable, and also thanks to the cards and special events and blah blah blah. Of course, every single scenario will be different every time you play it. There is fog of war, because as you see, or you don't see because they're not okay, you see, okay, the counters are face down until they are sighted. Now this is a solo setup with one side is clear and the other is obscured. Why? Because there is also a very easy bot that is used about set of priority and a set of icons here. on the cards of orders. So yeah, lots of content. But what I really like is the focus of the simulation here. Why? Because it is a tactical game, it is a skirmish game, so lots of stuff is happening, but everything is tested down to the subjective value, to the actual situation of every single soldier, not on theoretical values, on, you know, theoretical distances of your weapons or rate of fire. Yeah, no, this is about every single weapon has a certain efficacy based on efficiency, based on first the starting value of the soldier, then the actual situation on the field of the soldier himself. And this really changes the perspective. I really like it, and really gives you that skirmish feel, that one-on-one feel. I think that, well, maybe there will be the possibility of playing campaigns, that is linking scenarios together to get your own patrol. That would be nice. It will be a highly narrative campaign that will be fantastic. But as of this now, there is still lots of improvement, lots of stuff to play around with. Also, Mike Nagel is already working on another base module that is about Soviet soldiers and Finnish soldiers, about the Winter War. The two expansions are great. There are lots of interesting scenarios. I would love to see also North African maps, because up now there is also only scenarios, I think, scenarios, but I've not read all them, most of them are about the campaigns in Italy, the British and Italians. Also, thanks, Mike, because you really did a great treatment of Italian troops. There is no artificial disadvantages for Italian soldiers. Italian soldiers have problems for their formations, for their equipment, for their leaders, for the doctrine, but they're good soldiers, not different from other soldiers. There are also elite troops, so it is very honest, it is very sincere, and I really appreciate that. So the historical treatment is very good, but also there is lots of room to make a custom scenario, lots of possible improvements and modifications that can be made on this game. Anyway, it is a very fine system. I really like that, and yeah, this is a game that I really wanted to play, to find in the last years. So it is highly recommended. Yes, it is very interesting and a very good take on skirmish war games, and which is very nice, and I really like that. Also, there is a good system of initiative, of orders, of bluff and counter bluff. So it is a very thoughtful design. In his handbook, Mark says that he thinks this is the best game that he designed so far. It's designed great games, and Battles Deluxe, Donor Battles, fantastic games. But I really have to agree that I don't know if it is his best game. It is a very good game. So this has been Off the Line. Highly recommend it, especially if you want a simple, not just solitaire, tactical skirmish game about World War II. Thank you very much. This has been Riccardo Masini. Take care, have fun, and as always, don't be scared. It's just war games. Ciao.